Now, moving on, we've got some shocking exclusive footage for you right now on the show, taken this morning. You can now see migrants in Gravelines, northern France, take off in a dinghy. Now, police appear to be simply looking on. Look at the gendarmes there, posing for selfies by looking on as many of the immigrants struggle to even board that small boat. One or two of the French coppers can even be seen filming the migrants taking off as they head to our shores, making the precarious journey across the channel. Look at that. That craft can barely cope with the weight. It's bending, it's undulating. They're swimming more and more onto that. The police simply looking on. No attempt whatsoever to stop that craft. And remember, last year, Rishi Sunak pledged to give the French police £500 million to deal with those migrant crossings. You can see how weighed down that boat is, including women and small children. They fail to successfully get onto that boat. The migrants are sitting on the edge of the boat with their legs dangling into the water, so to ensure the maximum amount of people can get on. Typically, there are about 50 migrants to every boat. And of course, this is less than a week into Keir Starmer's tenure as Prime Minister. Forget stop the boat. Sir Keir has promised to smash the gangs, and he has already scrapped the previous government's Rwanda plan, which some said was a deterrent. Shocking pictures there of women and children in the shallows simply being overlooked. Women and children first. That used to be the first rule of sea. Totally ignored on that beach in this exclusive footage, setting off towards Dover as we can see yet another small boat. Shocking, shocking scenes. Now I'm joined now by the former Chief Immigration Officer in Calais for UK Border Force, Kevin Saunders. Kevin, that footage there would no doubt come as no surprise to you. Another ordinary day on the beaches of France. In fact, we've now seen 484 illegal immigrants arrive since Sir Keir Starmer became the Prime Minister, including 419 on a single day on Tuesday. And Kevin, the weather ahead is looking to be very, very calm next week. And you know exactly what that means. There are going to be more and more of these boats coming over during that period.
Yes, there are, Martin. I'm afraid you're right. I mean, if you go back to Tuesday, you've only told half the story. 419 got across, which are right. The French managed to intercept another 126. So, over 500 tried to do it. And there, by the grace of God, the French were able to stop 3 of the boats coming across. So that's a little bit of a result, but not a very big one, because 400 plus got over. Do we know if that boat that you filmed got over?
And Kevin, Sir Keir Starmer himself has said the numbers are going up, not down. Well, that's just an admission of reality. And Kevin Saunders, we've spoken so many times about the deterrent. We all agree Rwanda had its imperfections, but nevertheless, offshore containment was that deterrent. On day one, that was removed. Kevin Saunders, you've been warning for months and months and months. Without offshore containment, without a deterrent, the numbers are guaranteed to go up.
Oh, the numbers are going to go. Yes, well, they will go up. They will go up indeed. And as you say, so rightly say, with the weather due to get better this week, we will see an awful lot more coming across the channel. The migrants are there. They're waiting to come across. The pictures that you've got are not reassuring, are they? It doesn't look as though the French were doing too much at all to try and stop that boat.
And Kevin Saunders, what do you make of the pictures we saw there of women and children in the shallows being completely ignored by those already on that dinghy? They're not being helped in any capacity. You can see them there in the foreground in those orange life jackets. The women and children simply being ignored. And I guess this is just survival of the fittest, survival of those who want it the most. And Kevin, of course, back in April, 5 people died in a situation very, very similar to this one we're seeing on our screens right now, when the men, they marauded onto the boat and people were killed in the crush, including a girl aged 4 and a woman in her 30s.
Yes, it is a ruthless, absolutely ruthless organisation that's going on there. As you can see, it is basically the survival of the fittest. So the women and children aren't going to have much chance getting on there. But perhaps in some way, that's not a bad thing. At least they'll be safe in France, rather than coming across the channel. And coming across from Gravelines is a very, very dangerous crossing. You can see already in your picture how strong the currents actually are. So that's going to be that's a really dangerous crossing coming there.
And Kevin, as well as that lack of deterrent that we talked about with Rwanda, dead and buried on day one, there are numerous TikTok videos going out offering cut price deals, 2-for-1 offers. There's such a huge amount of money in this grotesque industry, Kevin Saunders. And you told me the other day there's a new nickname for Sir Keir Starmer in the camps on French beaches.
Yes, that's right. The migrants are very pleased, particularly the Kurds. I think they're calling him the friendly one, because they believe that it's going to be much, much easier now for them to come across and settle in the UK. And basically, they're right. It is going to be. It's going to be awful. The next few weeks, if the weather stays fine, we're going to see a lot of people come across.
And Kevin, a lot of people who are opposed not just to the arrival of the illegal immigrants in Britain, but also to this horrible, horrible industry. We're the ones who don't want to see disasters in the Channel. Kevin, with more and more people coming and trying to get over to make that precarious, death-defying mission, do you fear that we might see yet more disasters in the Channel?
Yes, I think it's inevitable that we will. I mean, it's so ruthless what is going on in the Channel. We saw it on your film, the survival of the fittest. You know, these young men virtually elbowing other people out of the way to get on the boats. And so, yeah, there are going to be a lot more deaths. I mean, that boat is massively overloaded. And you can see that the sea, you can see the white horses on the waves there. So that's not a particularly calm sea. And if that boat went down with 60-odd people on it, there would be a number of deaths, wouldn't there?
Yeah, Bob, I reckon, Kevin, when we look at that picture there's about 40 on that boat. It's worth pointing out that in the last 7 days, the average amount of people per dinghy is between 65 and 69. So that's actually relatively lightly laden. And with numbers like that, Kevin, it surely is only a matter of time before we see another disaster in the Channel. Kevin Saunders, thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us.